everybody get a glass. Let's start it off sexy.
My name is Kern Brantley. I'm a musical director and a bassist from Detroit, Michigan. Currently I'm playing with Lady Gaga. Just finished the Art Pop tour. I've also was musical director for Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, R. Kelly, Teddy Riley, and Guy, and Aaliyah here in Detroit. I live in Detroit, and Detroit is an amazing place. Growing up in Detroit, I was able to be around a lot of great musicians, members of the Funk Brothers, members of the gospel community like Thomas Whitfield and the Winans and the Clark Sisters. Also jazz musicians like Earl Klugh, Bob James, and Alexander Zonjic. So much talent here. You know, as a kid, you just meet all varieties of people from around the globe, that musicians that play with everybody, like Greg Fillinganes, they are from Detroit, Nate Watts. And so just growing up here is a nice variety of music and different genres to study. Well, one thing I figured, I can always go to LA and go to New York. And once you get hired, it doesn't matter where you live. They'll fly you in from New York or wherever you need to go for the gig. So I just go out and audition, but I like to stay here in Detroit. You know, it's a reasonable place to live as far as economically, because the prices in New York and LA are so high, cost of living. But the thing is just go out there, get the gig, and then come back home. Well, actually I was a guitar player first, and all my brothers are musicians as well. So my oldest brother, he wanted to be the guitar player because we all love Jimi Hendrix. So he kind of pushed me to the bass, so I wound up playing bass and just stuck to it. From there I started playing cello in junior high school and then switched to upright bass, and then just went on to the electric from there and keyboard bass. A lot of churches in Detroit, you get some of the best musicians are gospel musicians, so learned a lot playing gospel as well. Yes, I learned in a summer program called Festival of the Performance Arts, where we performed and backed up a lot of different singers. And with Kim Weston was the head of that, and she was also an artist on Motown. And then from there, learning, you know, at school, I took all the music classes in school. And then I applied for Berkeley and I was actually rejected. So I wound up going to Henry Ford Community College in Dearborn. And then from there, I went and did some studies at Wayne State, and then eventually came on to be my career from there.
Sexy and a regular clap. Oh, it's a party. Reserved for top notch.
Oh, very important in case you get a gig like a theater gig or doing an off-Broadway musical or even television shows. There's a lot of charts. And when you're backing up a show like a TV show, you get different artists. So it's easier to just to be at a site reading the music because there's so much music coming at you. Yes, to actually you know, perfect your craft. Also, the sound of your instrument is very important. So make sure that you select and fine-tune your instrument to the point that it sounds great in the studio. Because a lot of guitars may sound great live, but when you get in the studio, they have feedback and kind of, you know, noises and stuff. So, and also to kind of study all styles of music, you know, and be as versatile as possible, because you may get any type of session that you have to play.
I came out front to let you know when you're doing an audition, go out. Go for it. Jump out there. Make them feel like they're in a concert. Make them feel, you know, like it's live and that it's real.
Yeah, image is everything in this business. You know, for rehearsal, you can kind of be a little bit more lax, but when you're doing an audition or performance, make sure that you look your best and you dress your best and you're on time and everything, and you're very polite and courteous to everybody. You know, from the band to the crew, to the caterers, to the security, just the whole team. And for students, I advise them to prepare for auditions by studying the music and almost learning it exactly like the record. And then learn how to improvise from that point. You have to be very versatile and play all styles of music as a player.
Wishing they was dancing a jig here with this handsome kid. Sick a cigar right from Cuba Cuba. I just bite it.
Well, you learn from every audition. Like, I auditioned for Janet Jackson once, and I didn't wear the right clothes. I came in basically like I had just left church. You know, I had the church shirt and shoes and the whole nine. When I got there, everybody was wearing skinny jeans and long earrings and makeup, and I was like, wow. I didn't do my homework. You know, I should have researched more on the look. Another audition I did with Cher, I wasn't used to working with in-ear monitors at that time. So when I got to the audition, I thought it was going to be like the traditional wedges, and it wasn't. No wedges on stage at all, just all in-ears. So playing the bass, when I heard myself through the ears, it kind of threw me off because it was so thin sounding. So you gotta be prepared for whatever they may throw at you. Every time I didn't get a gig, it actually opened up the door for another gig. So you don't worry about the ones you don't get because it's all preparing you for something else.
I makes it high, getting jiggy with them.
A musical director job is basically to bring the wishes of the artist, and I'm almost like a middleman between the artist, the management, and the band. So we have a lot of input in creating the show. Like Beyonce, Mary J. Blige, I had a lot of input in coming up with intros, segues, hiring the musicians, contracting the background singers, as well as working with the sound production and the crew and choreographer. You have to be able to recognize and know everybody's part. Vocals, piano parts, you have to know, okay, if this guitar part is not right, or this keyboard part should do this, or this vocalist should sing that. You have to be aware of Pro Tools and programming if you're using sequences. You have to know every song by that artist, even songs that are on the show. You should know the whole catalog if possible, and do your research about the artists themselves. You have to be a motivator. You got to keep the morale of the band up, and then if there's problems, you got to be able to address them in a professional manner and to keep everything going so that everybody has a good vibe on stage. Okay, right now I'm endorsed by Warwick basses, so I use Warwick basses. For amplification, I use TC Electronics, 410 cabinet, 212 cabinet, also some of the effect pedals, and keyboards I'm endorsed by Roland Corporation, so I use the Roland V-Synth, the Phantom, and I'm also endorsed by Moog Music, so I use the Moog V-Synth, the Moog Voyager, and the Moog Sub Fatty.